أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We welcome you all at Masjidul Haq at the entrance of Lodya, Pretoria, South Africa. And today's JUMMAH lecture is entitled The Ultimate Sacrifice, Lessons from the Stories of Nabi Ebrahim alayhi salam and Nabi Ismail alayhi salam. The talk will be delivered by Sheikh Imran Kubi, a graduate from Darul Ulum Islamiyya Al Arabiya in Cape Town, and is currently seeking for his master's degree in clinical psychology from the University of South Africa. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم اخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم واكرمنا بنور الفهم وافتح علينا بمعرفة العلم وسهل اخلاق الحلم واجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون احسنه. اللهم اجعل اعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حقا لغيرك. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد النبي امه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First and foremost, we thank and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who in His infinite mercy has once again accepted us to be present in His house on the day of JUMMAH. It is reported that the person that attends one JUMMAH to the next JUMMAH, all his minor sins are forgiven. Secondly, we send peace and salutations upon Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his family, his companions, and those who follow him until the day of Qiyamah. My beloved brothers, elders, and all those listening today, it gives me great joy to be once again in front of you to speak on such a blessed day. Not only is this day blessed because it's a Friday, but also we find ourselves in the 10 days of the Hijjah. And it is reported that the days of the Hijjah is the best days in the year, whereas the nights of Ramadan is the best nights of the year. So we find ourselves upon bounties, upon bounties, upon bounties. There comes a hadith in Sunan Ibn Majah in which the Prophet ﷺ says that there is no better days to perform good deeds for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than these 10 days. And then the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala asked, "O Prophet of Allah, is it even better than going out to fight in the path of Allah?" Then the Prophet ﷺ said, "Yes, performing good deeds in these 10 days is better than going out and fighting in the path of Allah, except if a person goes out in the path of Allah with his own money and with his own wealth and he doesn't return, meaning the person passes away." So we see the magnitude of performing good deeds in these 10 days of the Hijjah. The Prophet ﷺ also says that the person that fasts any of these 10 days of the Hijjah is as if he's fasting for an entire year. Subhanallah. And then the Prophet ﷺ also has reported to have said that if a person fasts on Yawm al-Arafah, then the Prophet ﷺ says he hopes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive the person's the year that has passed, all their sins, and the year that is to come. So these are the virtues and these are the times that we are finding ourselves in, these 10 days of the Hijjah. Also connected with these 10 days of the Hijjah is something that is very important for us as the Muslims. It is a time and period in which we as Muslims, we have the opportunity to complete one of the pillars of our faith. And what is that pillar? To perform the Hajj. So these days, my beloved brothers, is a very special day. So we should strive to perform good actions and good deeds to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this. But connected with these 10 days and with Hajj is something very important and very dear to us as Muslims. And it goes back to the time of Nabi Ebrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. And Nabi Ebrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is a very important figure in the deen of Islam. And therefore we look at his life to draw inspiration and lesson from him. There's many things that we can look at in the life of Nabi Ibrahim والسلام, that we can draw inspiration and lesson from. But we're going to look specifically at the event that happened and transpired between him and his son Nabi Ismail والسلام. So before Nabi Ismail والسلام was born, Nabi Ibrahim prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking, Rabbi habli min as-salihin. Oh Allah, grant me a pious offspring. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to Nabi Ibrahim والسلام, فَبَشَّرْنَاهُ بِغُلَامٍ حَلِيمٍ. And we granted him a son that was Halim. And here, my beloved brothers, I don't want us to think about Halim from the soup. Instead, Halim means someone that is a son that is forbearant. However, the ayah goes on and it says that when Nabi Ismail, remember Nabi Ibrahim prayed for Nabi Ismail. He asked, oh Allah, grant me a son, a pious son. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him the son. However, when Nabi Ismail reached the age of maturity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed Nabi Ibrahim والسلام, in his dream. In the dream of Nabi Ibrahim والسلام, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed that he should sacrifice Nabi Ismail. So just imagine for 1 second, you in your heart's desire is yearning for a child. You're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you a child. Allah grants you that child. When the child reaches maturity, Allah informs you that you must sacrifice this child. Can we imagine how Nabi Ibrahim والسلام, felt in that moment? Nabi Ibrahim والسلام, informed Nabi Ismail and he says, قال يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أذبحك فانظر ماذا ترى. O my beloved son, I see in my vision that I must sacrifice you. What is your opinion on this matter? Nabi Ismail والسلام, replies, قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين. O my beloved father, do as you have been commanded, for indeed you will find me amongst those who are patient. And so, as Nabi Ibrahim والسلام, is preparing to sacrifice Nabi Ismail, we all know the story. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends a ram as a ransom for Nabi Ismail. And Nabi Ibrahim would sacrifice the ram in place of Nabi Ismail. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, later on in the verse, كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. In this way we will save those who do good deeds, those that do excellently for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my beloved brothers, we find ourselves in a time and period where we are supposed to be muhsinin towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved those who do ihsan towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even in the throes of death, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still saved Nabi Ismail alayhi salatu. So what are some of the lessons that we can take from this incident? There are various lessons that we can take from the incident that transpired between Nabi Ibrahim and Nabi Ismail. But firstly, one of the most important lessons that we can take is that as parents, the importance of speaking kind and loving words towards your children. How did Nabi Ibrahim والسلام, request from Nabi Ismail? He said, قَالَ يَا بُنَيَّ. This word, Ya Bunayya, means, oh my beloved son. So it's important for us as parents, when we address our children, we address them in a loving and caring way. We do not use harsh words, we use words that will speak life in them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the understanding. Another lesson that we can take from this incident, my beloved brothers, is the importance of shura. Many times we find ourselves in a position of authority. And what does shura mean? Shura means mutual consultation, being able to consult one another. So we find perhaps ourselves in authority, we perhaps have people that is working for us, we are perhaps a manager in a certain position. Do not take it for granted that because you're in that position that you can just overstep anyone. We see this from the story of Nabi Ibrahim, where he asks his son, فَانْظُرْ مَاذَا تَرَى. what is your opinion? And Nabi Ibrahim ﷺ is not any person. He is a Nabi of Allah. He is a messenger of Allah. So to obey him is as if you are obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yet, even despite his position, he still asks his son, فَانْظُرْ مَاذَا تَرَى? What is your opinion? So this indicates to us the importance of shura and mutual consultation, irrespective of our position. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the understanding. Then another lesson that we can take from the story of Nabi Ibrahim and Nabi Ismail, and specifically this incident, is the importance of setting a good example for one's children. So Nabi Ismail ﷺ, he grew up in the environment of obedience towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, when the time came where he had to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it was easy for him. Why? Because he saw in the example of his father. Why? How do we get this indication? Nabi Ismail ﷺ says, قَالَ يَا أَبَتِ افْعَلْ مَا تُؤْمَرُ. Oh my father, do as you have been commanded. So, if it wasn't we can see from this that Nabi Ismail ﷺ, he knew that this was a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So because he knows that his father is obedient towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, therefore he will also be obedient towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this understanding. Because when it comes to children, my beloved brothers, as we know that a child learns through the example of their parents, from the actions of their parents, not from the words. That's why they say more is caught than what is taught. The child catches from the parents' behavior. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this understanding, inshallah. Then, another lesson that we learn from this incident is the importance of youth as well, us as young men. The way that we need to engage and respect our parents, number one, and also our elders. How does Nabi Ismail ﷺ respond to his father after receiving such news? He says, قَالَ يَا أَبَتِ افْعَلْ مَا تُؤْمَرُ. Oh my beloved father, do as you have been commanded. He doesn't say, what do you mean? Why are you saying that I need to do this thing? He says, oh my beloved father, do as you have been commanded. So this is an example for us as youth, as young men, how we need to respect firstly our elders, our parents, and then we have to respect also our elders in our community, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this understanding, inshallah. Then, in terms of the last lesson, and I will conclude with this, is that a lesson that we take from this also is that when we are raising children, it is important to make dua for your child. It is important to make dua for your child. Many times we think that the tarbiyah and the reformation of a child is that you need to send him to a good school, you need to ensure that he has the best tutor, you need to make sure basically all the material aspects of the child's life is sorted. However, we forget one of the most important ways of making the tarbiyah and reformation of a child is the power of dua. How does Nabi Ibrahim ﷺ starts his raising of his child? He asks Allah, Rabbi habli minas salihin. Oh Allah, grant me pious offspring. So we see from the lesson of Nabi Ibrahim ﷺ that the raising of your child begins before inception and before giving birth. It starts when you make that dua. So we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us this understanding, my beloved brothers, and that we take the lessons from the life and the lives and the stories of the Anbiya, for these are genuinely the examples that we need to strive for, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ وَبَرَكَاتُهُ.